very warm good morning to one and all present here. Today, I, Parth Arora from class 12C is going to represent Eco Club with the topic Analysis and Comparison of GDP over past few years. Indian economy has been a diverse mix of all purchases and sales diversified in three sectors: industrial, agricultural and service sector. These three sectors are commonly known as primary, secondary and tertiary sector. Today I am representing all the data from year 1990 to 1991 to year 2009 to 2010 with a pie chart representing the GDP contributed by each sector diversely in their own ways, and the majority of each sector or which sector lies the most and which sector lies the least in the last few years. Thank you. Comparing from the year 1990 to 2010, in 1990, the tertiary sector contributed 42%, or we can say it is less than half, but in now recent years like 2009 and 2010, it is contributing 57.9%. Tertiary sector has been the majority sector, providing the most amount of GDP in the comparison, similarly with the primary and tertiary sector, but the primary sector, which includes the agricultural or the production activity, has decreased to 14.64% in 2010 from 29% to from 1990 to 91. Thank you so much.
Good evening, I'm Palak of class 12C, and today I'm going to speak about the contribution of the three major sectors in Indian GDP. Starting with, what is GDP? Gross Domestic Product refers to the sum total value coming from the purchases of all the finished goods and services produced within a country in a given period of time. The Indian GDP is characterized by economic activities related to the agricultural, industrial and the service sector. Starting with the primary sector, it includes activities which result in products produced by exploiting natural resources, for example, mining, fishing, forestry, etc. At the beginning of development stages, this sector was the most important sector, but as it began to prosper, people could now take up more and more other activities. So earlier it contributed around 40% to the GDP, but now it has reduced to less than 17%. Moving on to the secondary sector, it includes activities in which the natural products are converted into the finished goods through methods of manufacturing. After independence, due to industrialization, people who earlier worked on farms were now working in factories. This sector currently contributes around 31% to the Indian GDP. Next comes the tertiary or the service sector. It does not include producing of any goods, but it provides support to the production process of other two sectors. It includes services like transportation, communication, bank, etc. In conclusion, in developing countries like India, the tertiary or the service sector has gained an important position related to GDP contribution. It shows that we are a developing country striving to become a developed economy. Thank you.
Good morning, I'm Isha Robbie of class 12C, and today I'm here to speak about the contribution of the three major sectors of India in the Indian GDP under the Eco Club activity. The major part of India's GDP is made up by service sector, and it contributes around 51.44%. Next is industrial sector, and it contributes around 33% of it. Agriculture sector is at the third spot, and it contributes around 16%. GDP or the gross domestic product is the overall measure of a country's economic activity, and the increasing share of the service sector in our GDP shows that we are a developing economy striving to become a developed economy. Thank you.
Good morning, I'm Palak Kumari of class 12C, and today I'm going to speak about the contribution of the three major sectors in the Indian economy. Gross domestic product represents the economic health of a country as it provides information about the size of the economy and how the economy is performing. It refers to the sum total of all the monetary values coming from the purchases of all finished goods and services produced within a country in a given period of time.
The Indian economy is characterized by the economic activities related to the agricultural, industrial and the service sector. Thank you.